if you look up the term carnage in the dictionary, it actually reads that it is a noun and that it is the killing of a large number of people. But in this instance, Carnage refers to this guy, Marvel's Carnage, made finally by Lego. I heard about this set, I'd say, like back in January? Maybe. Hard to say. I got really excited, mostly because of the flames and just the colors and the teeth, obviously. And I really have, sorry to say, but I don't have much Carnage knowledge for the character of Carnage. I don't know anything beyond the films. I was not a big Marvel fan growing up. I watched a lot of cartoons, and unfortunately, a lot of them were not superheroes. So, I bought the Lego set mostly because it looks cool, and I thought it looked really good, as it does in the picture. Here it is. Okay, that's that was a little disappointing. It's a lot smaller than it looks, but yeah, here it is up close. Now, just as a reference point, I have very average hands. They're not very big. They're not small. They're not tiny, but that's how big it is comparatively. It's like the size of a softball. So let's just go right down the whole thing. I'll 360 view it. So you have the actual bust of Carnage. It's part of the, I think it's called the part of the Lego helmet line. I think, yeah, I'm looking at my other ones. You can actually see the Stormtrooper back there. I'll probably do a review for that soon. And they're all kind of like this. They feature the main bust of the head and the title card. And it goes all the way around. Details. Not much detail on the back, but you're really only going to be displaying these kind of like just straight on. The box does actually say 18 and older. This is not a play set. There's nothing to move on it. And except this, the title card moves back and forth. And there's nothing else to move. It's not a play thing. This is something to display. And I think it really just appeals to the older collector. I don't know. I don't have any kids, so I don't know if I'd let my kid buy this one. It's pretty scary, but maybe, I guess. I mean, it's just a toy. So going all the way around, the detail is all really on the front, and I really like the flames. Now, a lot of people don't like doing stickers with Lego sets. They think they're a pain, they're tedious, and they really are. I had to do one of these. I think it was on the set. I had to do one of these a couple of times, and they all look good at a glance. But of course, if you screw something up like on a model and you show somebody, they're not going to notice it, but you'll always notice the mistake. But there's quite a few stickers. This is not a sticker. This is a plate. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stickers on this full thing. 2 on the sides, a bunch on top right there, and the eyebrows, of course. But let's just talk about this awesome thing, the teeth. I'm trying to get the lighting to somewhat focus in on that. Look at the teeth. I think that's so awesome. There we go. Those were a lot of fun putting on or in. Making the whole jaw and the mouthpiece was a lot of fun. You can actually see that is pink on the inside. That is not a lighting trick. That is pink. And I've never seen pink used for display purposes. Usually pink pieces are used on the inside. I wish I could take some of this off, but on the inside of this skull or bust, whatever you want to call it. By the way, if you're one of those people that don't like Lego spoilers and don't want to know how they're done, you might want to fast forward through this part because I will talk a little bit how they're built. That they're called building techniques. and I'm going to ruin some of it for you now. This is not solid in here. It's solid in the way that, like, it's not all solid red like it appears to be. This is all, there's all different colors inside. There's greens, reds, blues. Every color of the rainbow is used on the inside, and it's used mostly for ease of build, to read on the instructions. If it was just all red and black packed in there, like I originally thought it was going to be, it would be really confusing to read in the instructions. So I think they used to do it back in the day, like back in the 90s and 2000s, they would have you stack the same colored parts, but they've gotten very, very clear with the instructions over the years, and I'm really happy to see how far they've come. So, but other than that, let's see, the base plate is very sturdy, doesn't move around at all. I'm afraid to move the camera because the camera is sitting on a half-finished Darth Vader head that I'll probably be reviewing within the next day or two. And it sits really nicely on a shelf. I've got mine sitting next to my Boba Fett, my TIE Fighter pilot, and my Stormtrooper helmet, which I will review in the future. I really don't have anything wrong with this particular set. I had a lot of fun building it. I have fun building every set. I don't think I've ever not had fun building a single set I owned. During the pandemic, my girlfriend made a joke. Well, the pandemic's still going, but she made a joke about how when Legos were running out for availability, our standards for what we wanted to build was going down. There are a couple sets sitting up on my shelf that I'm not, if I could go back in time and not buy them, I would. But I really enjoyed every single set I ever bought and built during this whole lockdown time, and it got me back into my fun hobby. But anyways, I cannot think of a thing that I would recommend not building on this, like as in a bad thing, like a con. I really enjoyed it, and there was some challenging parts, like the teeth. The teeth were challenging, but once you figure out how they're all supposed to fit in there, and it's just a little bit of instruction reading, maybe going over it a few times, maybe a little trial and error, nothing frustrating at all. I could put this together if I was 10, 20, or now 30. I could recommend this really for anybody. This is $60. I got it at Target, and it's 546 pieces. Now, one thing on the price point I will say is that you typically want to pay 10 cents per piece. So at 546 pieces, I should have really paid maybe $55. And I will say that with this, I understand a lot of the pieces vary in size. There's a piece in the back here, that's all one piece. That's a lot of plastic or petroleum, whatever they're made of. And then there's pieces that are so tiny on here, they're the size of just one stud. So, of course, you're not going to get that 10-cent value spread out over the whole thing. Sometimes you will just pay a little bit more. Sometimes you'll definitely get your money's worth. And, like, the Harry Potter crests are $120, and they have 4,249 pieces. I know this because I'm looking at my girlfriend's setup right across the table. So, just nailing down the finer points of this, Carnage by Marvel, $60, Target. Of course, you can always get it online if you don't want to go out. I really liked it. It's an awesome display piece. Pretty shocking, especially with the teeth there. And I will hopefully be getting Venom. They released Venom as like kind of a surprise release over the last 2 weekends. I did not know it was coming out. It came out with a Batman cowl, which I'm debating on getting. I didn't really like how it looked. I recommend this for anybody who wants something that they can build, enjoy their time. It took me about 4 hours, I'd say 4 or 5 hours, and just want to display it. Because that's really it. You can't play with it. It's meant for putting on a shelf. if I had an office, this would go on my office. It's definitely shocking. Again, I can't stop talking about the teeth, but I will. And yeah, this is definitely a high recommendation for me if you like the way this looks. If you're looking for something to play with, you have to try somewhere else. But just to sit on a shelf, you can do a lot worse.